Hey y'all, welcome to the Clock Tower. I'm Colton here with Brandon. 5 cards, 5 minutes, talking about the new BanG Dream 5th anniversary set. Brandon, what's our first card?
First up, we have this level 0 Brainstormer. It has the ability to be able to rest it. If you have another Anniversary or Morphonica character, you can send this into stock. But for the Brainstorm effect itself, it's a pay 1 rest self search Brainstormer for either Anniversary or Morphonica. Pretty effective Brainstormer for the new Anniversary set.
Yeah, just being able to sack it for stock is pretty nice, because usually what ends up happening is like this Brainstorm profile will get played over at some point, usually by some other kind of back row piece. So instead of just losing this by overplaying it, you can then gain stock off of it. You don't get to use like that one last Brainstorm effect, because it does have to rest itself to send itself to stock, but it is a cheap +1 to stock. Next, we have another yellow Anniversary Brainstormer. When the specific choice CX is played, this gains a choice trigger, and when it triggers, you can choose a 1/0 event from Waiting Room. We'll get to that in a second. Also, it is a pay 1 tap stealth salvage Brainstormer. The event that it gets is a level 1 yellow event. You can rest one of your standing characters, look it up to 3, add 1, and you can give a character pay 1 twin drive. This isn't here so much because it's a great card, and more because it's an interesting idea. We are seeing more of these additional trigger decks that give character cards specific triggers. I don't know if this one's going to get played, but it's at least an interesting idea. And if you're playing a stock-heavy top end, maybe you lean more into this to try to generate some of that stock.
Next up, we have another level 0. On play, you may put the top card of your stock into your clock to search for a level 1 or lower character. It also has the ability with the alarm effect that at the beginning of climax phase, you can choose a character. When you reverse it, you can send it to your opponent's clock, replacing the card that's already there. So you can kind of bypass some of their on-death effects or encore effects to be able to remove it from field.
Yeah, we're seeing more of these profiles where you have kind of your bog standard level 0, drop search / Ricky / Brainstorm kind of profile that maintains a lot more of its relevance because of a secondary effect. This is one of them. Next, we have the level 1 Mashiro combo. On attack with the pants, ditch 1, salvage an Anniversary or Morphonica character, and it becomes an Oboro. When it's attacked on your opponent's next turn, it can jump back to hand. The goal with the Oboro has always been to loop, but now, instead of just looping a level 1 over and over again and hoping you kind of draw into the rest of your pieces or fix during your main phase, this actually allows you to fix your hand during your combo so that you can, 1, respond to whatever your opponent has, so you can get whatever removal pieces or responses you need, or you can start to build towards your end game. I think this is the logical next evolution for the Oboro.
Yeah, no, I think you agree with that. To be able to hand filter as well as gain the Oboro effect, I think is at least decent. Combining that with pants, which is typically pretty loopable, potentially able to actually cycle this card to get to your end game state.
And if you trigger a pants on your first attack, you can then get rid of the pants on your second attack and exchange it for a different card.
Last up, we have our level 3 Asumi. During your turn, it gains another 2,000 power, assuming you have Pop and Party or Anniversary trait in play. Also in play, you can draw 2, ditch 2, and then stop the top card of your deck. So you'll be able to essentially refund one of the stock for playing this card down, and hand filter your hand twice. At the end of your card's attack, if you have the salvage in your climax spot, and you have another Anniversary or Pop and Party character, you can pay 2, burn 2, and gain anti-burn in that lane until the end of your opponent's next turn. So cross-turn, anti-burn, and a burn 2. A pretty defensive top end with a potential burn. So a little bit faster Meliodas.
This feels like the best of both worlds, both from a offensive and defensive standpoint, because you can actually, in theory, live from 3-0 if you deny auto damage, because then your opponents are just swinging vanillas, right? This can be blinked, like this is beatable, and it also doesn't heal down, so you're not healing down to 3-0 with this and then trying to hold off for a turn. If you get to level 3 after your opponent does, you have enough offensive power to actually try to close, and you just have Faithless Looting on a stick on play. I like this. You want to try field it, obviously. The additional stock effect lets you do that, and also draw 2, ditch 2 allows you to essentially loot into your CX into additional copies of this. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back on Tuesday. Brandon will have a deck tech for BanG Dream. We'll have gameplay the following Thursday. Clock Talk the following Tuesday. Until next time, thank you so much for joining us. Please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and have a good one.
We'll see you then.